Hello everyone, welcome. It's Juliet here, and I just love this. Okay. I was playing around with some beads that were in the Potomac Beads Festive Radiance box for the month of December, the treasure box, okay? And I did not set out to make a little Christmas tree, and I don't know what happened, but I ended up making this adorable little Christmas tree, which I am going to use as an earring. You could use it as a pendant as well if you wanted. And so I did add one thing that's not included in the box, which are some 15-0 beads. I just used some galvanized silver 15-0s. But anyway, so we're going to learn how to make this adorable little Christmas tree. If you have the treasure box, you will have all the materials. And if you don't have the treasure box, you may have materials. I mean, you could use different colors for this. You don't have to use the colors that I'm using, obviously. So go and check in your stash and see what you have. So per earring, you're going to need 4 mini duos, so RounDuos minis, okay? So we got, sorry, they're not mini duos, they're RounDuos minis. Mini duos are mini super duos, okay? So these are RounDuos minis, and these are metallic emerald. And I will link everything on the Potomac site for you in the description. So if you need something, you can go and grab it. Okay, IrisDuos beads in the white shimmer finish, which is such a pretty finish. It's kind of pearlescent, but it's a really bright white. It's very, very pretty. Then we have here some Color Shift Montees in green fire. These are the 4mm. I believe. I will double check that. And then we also have some 4mm Bicones in emerald. So you're going to need 3 per earring of the Montee and 6 per earring of the Bicone. And then some 11-0 seed beads and some 15-0 seed beads. And I am using a Tubelet for the trunk of my tree here. This is came in the box, and they are the crystal etched of Vitrail full. Okay, so I just grabbed one of those out. These seed beads also came in the box. They are Azuki seed beads, Opaque Fuchsia. Okay, and these did not come, I don't even know. I have had these since I started beading, like way before I even labeled things, so I have no idea what brand. I suspect they're probably Miyuki, but they might be Czech. I don't know. But anyway, so just some 15-0s, okay? And today I am using some DragonThread in size 6. You could also use Fireline 6-pound if you wanted to, or whatever thread you like. You don't need a ton. You know, kind of 2.5 feet is probably enough per tree, okay? So I'll just get my needle out, get that threaded up, and then we'll begin. Okay, so to begin, you're gonna leave yourself a little tail that you can tie off at the end, obviously, like we always do. And you're going to pick up one of your rose Montees, which should have a little crisscross on the background. And these are the kind of more flat ones, not the bigger ones that you get. So, okay, so you're gonna sew through your Montee and just hold it in place for a second. And you're going to pick up a Bicone, a IrisDuos, and another Bicone. And depending on what way is the top here, you're going to sew through the other cross on your Montee. So originally I went through this way, so I'm going this way because I want my IrisDuos to sit like facing upwards, okay? So just depends how you've picked it up. Okay, so there we go. We have this, okay? And you're going to repeat this on the other side. So pick up again a 4mm bicone, and then I gotta figure out here. Okay, I'm going, if you're confused about which hole you need to go into, you can kind of lay it down and figure out which way you're going, and then work it out that way. Okay, and then once I've picked that up, I'm going back through the first side that I went through, so where my end tail is. Okay, so that my tail's coming out on the right, so I'm going into the right and up through the bicone. Okay, and it might take a second for you to get your thread balanced out. Make sure you're not stuck on any of your prongs on your Montee, which is also very easy to do, okay? And just give it all a nice little squeeze. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pick up one of your RounDuo minis. You're going to pick up one 11-0. You're going to go through the top of your IrisDuos here. And I'm trying to get this to, there we go. And you're going to repeat on the other side, so but in reverse. So this time you're picking up a seed bead and then a RounDuos mini, and then you're going down into the bicone here. You're going to pass through that Montee to get to the other side. So remember, you're always going like diagonal through your Montee, okay? Come out from the next crystal. And then we're going to repeat what we did on this side. So we're going to pick up a RounDuos mini and a seed bead. We're going to go through our IrisDuos and then reverse that. So you're going to pick up a seed bead and a RounDuos mini, and you're going to go through to the other side and stop after you come out from the bicone, okay? So you should now have something that looks like this. You're going to pick up 2 seed beads, 1 Montee, and 2 seed beads. And you're going to go down into the bicone and go all the way through the Montee and the other bicone. So all the way through bicone, Montee, bicone, okay? And when you pull this, it's gonna sit kind of on the side like this. All right, and it might be flipping around at the moment. That's okay, just don't worry about it. And we're going to repeat that again here. So we're going to pick up 2 seed beads, a Montee, and 2 more seed beads. And you're going to go through that bicone and all the way through the bicone, the Montee, and the next bicone, okay? All right, so you should have something that kind of looks a little bit like this. These may be flipping around at this point. Don't worry about that, okay? Okay, so coming out from your bicone, let me move up to the top because I'm actually coming out underneath my other beads. I'm just gonna poke through, so I'm coming out on the top so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so you're coming out from your bicone. You're gonna jump into the second hole on your RounDuos mini, okay? be super careful. It's so easy to get caught on these Montees, okay? So really watch what your thread is doing the whole time if you can, okay? All right, sorry about that. So coming out from your mini duo outer hole, you're going to pick up the IrisDuos so that it's going to sit facing inwards, okay? You're going to pick up 3 seed beads as well. And you're going to push it all down. You're going to sew through the IrisDuo, the other hole that you just added, okay? You're going to pass through the Montee, the middle of the Montee, okay? You're going to repeat on the other side. So you're going to pick up an IrisDuo. This time you're picking up from the inside hole, so you want it to be this way, okay? So pick up on the hole that's on the inside, push it down, just make sure that it is in the right place. You're going to pick up 3 seed beads again. Three seed beads, and you're going to go down through that IrisDuo and through the mini duo outside hole, going inwards, okay? So now it looks like this. Okay, so you're coming out the top of your mini duo. You're going to go up into the 2 seed beads that are here. Okay, you're going to pass up into the IrisDuo. You're going to pick up a bicone, the last IrisDuo, and you want to pick it up so that it's going to sit on the top, okay? So for me, that means I'm picking it up through the right hand side of it, okay? You're going to pick up another bicone. You're going to sew down into the IrisDuo on the other side. If I can find the hole. There we go. Okay, like this. You're going to cycle through your Montee in the middle. Okay, so go sideways through the Montee. And then you're going to cut straight up into the bicone that's here. You're going to pick up 3 seed beads and pass through the top hole of your IrisDuo. And you're going to pick up 3 more seed beads. You're going to go down into the bicone, and then you're going to go straight through the Montee again. Okay, so this is going to kind of pull the bicones in a little bit. You just need to be careful not to pull so tight that you end up cutting your thread there, okay? Okay, so cycle one more time through the bicone, through the IrisDuo, and get in here, and the other bicone, and then you're going to go, sorry, stop there. You're going to pick up one seed bead, and then you're going to go straight down through this Montee that is at the top, okay? So like this. Yeah, you're going to pick up one more seed bead, and we're kind of doing the right hand side. So remember this one, the cross is diagonal, so we're going to go from right to left through that middle Montee there. Okay. And try and pull quite tight there, okay? And then one more time, we're going to pick up one seed bead, and you're going to go down through the middle Montee, okay? You're going to pick up, sorry, you're going to pick up your Tubelet, which is going to be our tree trunk, okay, and one of your 15 O's. And push that down, and you're going to go back up through the Tubelet and the bottom Montee. And just take a second to kind of get it to sit straight, because sometimes you got to get the tension right, okay? Then you're going to pick up another seed bead. So when we came through the diagonal here, I don't like the tension here, hang on. Going through that Montee, it should be a little bit tighter, okay. When we came out of the diagonal here, we came out on the left-hand side of this Montee, so I'm going to enter into the right-hand side and go back up towards the top from right to left. And again, just take a second to adjust if you need to, okay? And then we're going to pick up one seed bead. We're going to go straight up through the middle of this Montee. And again, kind of pull it a little bit. If you have a little bit of thread showing like I do, don't worry, because that will get kind of covered up in a minute, okay? And then you're going to pick up one more seed bead, and you're going to go up into the bicone on the left-hand side, because we came down the right-hand side, so we need to add one on the left-hand side. Okay. So that is kind of the structure of our tree, more or less. We just have to do the edging now and the embellishment on the top, which makes it more sturdy, okay? And also looks cuter. All right, so go ahead, go up the 3 seed beads on the side of that top IrisDuo. You're going to pick up 5 15 O's. You're going to go down the first 2 seed beads on the other side. So right here, okay. You're going to pick up 4 15 O's. And you're going to sew into the 2nd and 3rd seed bead on top of your IrisDuo right here. So you're skipping that first one and you're sewing through the 2nd and 3rd one, okay? This. You're going to sew down through your IrisDuo. You're going to pick up 3 15 O's. And you're going to sew down into the seed bead that's right here and through the IrisDuo. Okay, like this. And then you're going to also sew through that bottom seed bead right there. You're going to pick up 4 15-0s. And you're going to sew into the second hole on your RounDuo mini, okay, right here. And you're going to then pass through the 2 seed beads and the Montee, and the next 2 seed beads, and the bottom hole of the RounDuo mini. Okay, so make sure you're coming out from the bottom hole there, okay? You're going to basically reverse this, so you're going to pick up 4 15-0s. You're going to go up into the seed bead and the IrisDuo and the next seed bead. You're going to pick up 3 15-0s. You're going to sew up into the IrisDuo and the first 2 seed beads on the top. Okay, so you should come out from the second one, and then you're going to pick up 4 seed bead 15-0s, sorry. Pick up 4, and you're going to go up into, skip the bottom 11-0 and go up into the next 2. Don't go into the 15-0s, just the 11-0s. Okay, so that is our edging on, and now we have to do our internal embellishments, okay? Okay, so sew through your IrisDuo, and you're going to go down, and you're going to exit from, you're going to go down the 3 11-0s, and you're going to exit out from your bicone. Then pass down through your IrisDuo. You're going to pick up 4 15-0s, and you're going to sew down into this 11-0 that's on this side of between these 2 that are between your Montees. You're going to sew down into the right hand side seed bead. Okay, and then you're going to sew up through the left hand side seed bead. Just turn and go straight back up again. You're going to pick up 4 15-0s again. And you're going to go straight up into your IrisDuo. You're going to pick up 3 15-0s. You're going to go down into the seed bead that is above the Montee right here. Okay, so you're going to go down through it. You're going to go up through the one on the other side that's right beside it. Can be a little bit hard to get into because they do like to bury themselves. Okay, and you're going to pick up 3 more 15-0s, and you're going to go down into the IrisDuo. Okay, so it should look like this. Coming out from your IrisDuo, you're going to pick up 2 11/0s, and you're going to sew straight into the next IrisDuo, the inside hole of it. That's below. So I'm coming out here and I'm going straight down with 2 seed beads. Okay. I'm going to pick up 4 15/0s. I'm going to pass into, so if you see the 2 seed beads right here at the bottom, you're going to go into the one closest to the Montee. So skip the first one that's closest to the RounDuo mini and go into the second one. And you're going to pass through the Montee and through the first seed bead on the other side of the Montee. Then you're going to pick up 2 seed beads. Sorry, 4 15/0s. And you're going to sew up into the IrisDuo that is at the bottom. And then you're going to pick up 2 more 11/0s. And you're going to sew straight up into the IrisDuo that is above that. Okay, so here is our little tree. So all that is left now to do is to put on our little star on the top, which we will use. It's actually a diamond, kind of looks like a little star, which we can then use to put an earring finding through. Okay, so make your way up there. Just go up through the bicone. You're going to have to kind of dig underneath to get into the bicone, and up through the 11/0s. My thread is getting really short, so I'm hoping I can finish this for you. Okay, and you want to sew up until you're exiting from the very top of that top 15/0. Okay, you're going to pick up 4 15/0s. And you're going to sew again through that top 15/0. You're going to sew up through the very first one you just added on that little loop. Okay. You're going to add one, sew into the next, so into the next 15/0, and you're just going to add one between each. So you're going to add 3. So 1, 2, so into the next one, and 3, so into the next one, and back down into the base bead. Okay, so there's our little top. Now, if you have more thread than me, you're going to want to go around, come down here, go through your IrisDuo, and just circle around one more time. And then you can tie in both of your threads, okay? So yeah, that is our little Christmas tree. I need to go find some earring findings, and I will come back in a minute once I've tied everything off and show you how it looks. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so I have finished my earrings off. I just used a very simple ear wire for these. I didn't want to distract from the top of the Christmas tree at all, so I just used a simple ball ear wire. I put a little stopper on because sometimes these fall out of my ears. So I want to just give you one quick tip. So I highly recommend reinforcing this, and what I did was I came down here, and you're going to want to, actually I came around, I reinforced this whole side right here, okay? And then I kind of went up in the middle and I connected this, and I actually did go through that very first seed bead, and I also reconnected it into these bits. I just sewed all over the place. And I also sewed along this line and then into the seed beads here and across and up. So just my advice is, if anything's gappy, go ahead, sew around and reinforce, because that is what I did the first time I did it, and also just now I did it on this one as well, and it really helps to kind of solidify it a little bit and smooth things out. Anywhere there's a gap, you just kind of follow the beads and sew into whatever bit you think you need to. Okay, anyway, I hope you have enjoyed these little snowy Christmas tree earrings. I hope you and your family have a wonderful holiday. I will have some more videos coming up, and if you are interested in the treasure box, which does include, you know, all of these materials, I will put a link for that. All right, guys, I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye.